Okay, just to real quickly with the Colonial Pipeline problem. I find it absolutely fascinating that this hacker group, which is known as DarkSide, that this hacker group has responded to what's going on with this pipeline being shut down with a press release. It's like organized crime has gone international and professional. I mean, it's pretty amazing. They came out and they said, we are apolitical. And they are calling on their partners. Apparently this is a company, literally a group, this hacker group, that works with other companies. Somebody else comes along and says, hey, I want you to hack this hospital for me. Okay, cool. Here's, we'll do it for a percentage, or we'll do it for a fee, or however. I don't know the details of how this works. But how do you stop it? I mean, this, ransomware is expensive and causes a lot of damage and all those kinds of things. And it's really hard to stop because the principal way ransomware comes into businesses is somebody gets an email and it has a link or an attachment on it, and somebody clicks on that attachment thinking that they're opening a cat picture or a birthday card from Uncle John. And it turns out that, boom, it's the virus that locks up their computer and turns it over to the ransomware people. Or they click on a link and it does the same thing. I mean, this is the most common way that they get in. So, obviously being very careful about what you click on is important. But if we're talking about, what's going on here, number one, the White House is slowly getting their act back together. But keep in mind, back 3 years ago, when it was being alleged that the Russians were using, or Russian hackers or Russian oligarchs, or maybe even the Russian government, were using Facebook and other internet-based platforms, particularly Facebook, using them to promote Donald Trump and Donald Trump's ideas and Donald Trump's memes, and now they're being promoted. Now what they're promoting is things like the folds are wrong on the ballots and there's no dents. And that virus, it was proof of something or other. What did he call it? Whatever. Anyhow, proof of potency or something. They've got this new phrase. This is being promoted by these folks too. So how do you stop this kind of stuff? Well, I would just very simply say, and I think it's just, a straightforward statement. We already have a model for stopping destructive activity on the internet. It doesn't stop it altogether, but the way that we have effectively over the last decade or so just put an end to child porn on the internet could or should be applied to other things like, lies and misinformation and ransomware and things like that. Get an international consensus about it. Get all the websites on board with it. Exploiting children is a terrible thing. Shutting down critical infrastructure is a terrible thing too. Now, I'm not going to try to draw any equivalences between the two, behaviors, but the response that we've already pioneered, essentially. I mean, you're going to find lots and lots of lies and half-truths and mistruths and BS and craziness on platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Google and, the obvious big ones and a whole bunch of smaller ones. You're not going to find child porn because we have successfully gotten rid of that with draconian penalties and serious enforcement. And the buy-in, this right across the board, institutional buy-in to the idea that this is a terrible thing to do. And I think that, frankly, we need to be looking at this. But what happened with the White House was during the Trump time, when it was being alleged that Russia helped Donald Trump become president using the internet, was that Trump first forced out Tom Bossert, his cybersecurity czar. Then he shut down the office. Then he shut down the cybersecurity office in the National Security Agency, the NSA, or the Office of National Security, excuse me, ONS, within the White House. Multiple internet security agencies and people were pushed out by Trump because they were pointing the finger at Russia. Now, Biden is putting these folks back into place, but I mean, we're having to rebuild from scratch. And then you had this Russian hack of the federal government that happened a year and a half ago, and Trump did absolutely nothing about for a year other than claiming, oh, it was probably China. When you had the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all of them coming out going, nope, not China, sorry. So we're rebuilding this stuff, but, you know, it's going to take a little while. But I do think that there needs to be a national consensus about this. I don't think it's a huge controversial topic that we're going to get a lot of calls on, but I just wanted to put that out there.